Good news, everyone! Lyrebird is back. Winter is coming, and I am going to have nothing to do except release content. Prepare thyselves. First up, we're talking about game design, specifically Arc Raiders game design. This is not a video about 1277 need-to-know facts before you play Arc Raiders. I just really want to talk about the way the game is built and what the devs were thinking. Games like PUBG and Hunt Showdown crawled so that Arc Raiders could slide. When I played Ark during the Server Slam playtest, it was my first actual experience with the game, besides marketing content put out by Embark Studios. I noticed, as I'm sure you all did, a great number of mechanics that I had seen before. Items to heal an arbitrarily generated armor bar, sliding mechanics, third-person perspective. I saw all this stuff, and immediately my mind went to games like PlayerUnknown's Battleground, or any of its mimics, from Fortnite to Call of Duty Warzone. All of these games have basically the same ingredients, and I saw this stuff in the marketing material for Arc Raiders, and immediately my reaction was dominated by suspicion and foreboding. Were these people just putting together things that they had seen before? Oh, we've got to do an extraction shooter now. But, oh my god, after having played this game for more than 20 hours, excluding the time I put into the Server Slam playtest, I can confidently say that Lyrebird was wrong. You see, they didn't include these mechanics without good cause. Every single thing they have in their game is placed there with intent, and it is implemented very well. Yeah, you can slide just like Call of Duty, how neat. You can also climb, drop, vault, jump, roll, zipline. There are so many different ways to navigate the world around you. It's almost on the level of Mirror's Edge. If we do the safe drop.
How? I don't know that.
You have to drop and then press space to catch the ledge, and then press control to drop anyway, because now you're mantling the ledge. And then once you hit the ground, press alt to roll. Yeah, you did it right. You just have to press now control. Once you're mantling upwards, you got to press control to stop, to drop, and then alt to roll. Almost.
Partially.
And that's important. We'll talk about it later, but without good movement, a lot of these other design principles don't come together quite as smoothly. Let's get into it. As for the other signature elements of these Battle Royale games, like the shield, this mechanic, specifically the shield, always felt weird. Like, I just didn't understand why it was there. And I feel like I might understand why it was implemented now, because it contributes so powerfully to the gameplay of Arc Raiders. In Arc Raiders, you wander around, you loot, and you occasionally face grave danger, which is a lot like many of these extraction shooters. But these extraction shooter games can feel really crappy to play if one-shot kills are both achievable and common. If they are the best way to solve PvP or to keep yourself safe, then it just sucks. Everyone's hiding in a bush, sniping each other, and it's not fun. You will not find this design flaw in Arc Raiders.
Are we being shot by a player? Are you being for real right now? Alright, Frick.
In order to balance that and still keep the game fun, especially for people who are seeking PvP or who want to stalk other players, you still need to punish people for taking damage. because the original punishment of being knocked down and out and becoming dead isn't really there, at least not immediately, for a successful ambusher. This is where the shield mechanic comes in. If you have to ameliorate health damage and shield damage, you effectively become suppressed. I mean, your hands are going to be busy for a while. You won't be able to help the firefight that is ongoing between your allies and your enemies because your hands are busy. The reality is that in most games, you don't have any reason not to stick your head out again. But going all the way to down but not out here in Arc Raiders is crippling. You are now a burden to your team, but as long as you're still up, you can run around, you can hide, you can sprint, you can jump, you can heal yourself, you can recover, you can potentially regain the initiative. But once you're down but not out, you're screwed. You're probably just going to die. The upshot of all of this is twofold. Firstly, all engagements are now resource costly, slightly incentivizing friendly behavior. I mean, if you shoot the other guy and he shoots you, you both have to use a bandage and you both have to use a shield recharging device. Secondly, anyone who takes damage is basically stunned. You might not get easy kills right off the bat when you perform a successful ambush, but you will demolish their action economy, making it easier and easier as you continue pushing them to get closer and closer until you're finally close enough that they won't be able to walk away and heal themselves again, or perhaps they'll run out of healing supplies. And you'll get the kill. You'll win the PvP encounter, but it's a little bit different than you might be used to in other games. This basic equation of damage to your health bar equals a slowdown is so simple, but it's executed so elegantly that it really causes the gameplay, especially surrounding PvP, to feel much more rewarding and much more engaging. By giving everyone the superpower of hypermobility and then robbing them of it the moment they get hit, you're generating a gameplay loop around PvP where damage equals a slowdown, and that feels so much better. I just feel like it's axiomatically true that this kind of a game design is going to produce more rewarding and more engaging and more thoughtful PvP than a game where you can shoot someone in the head and be done. I want you to really think about the mob design and the map design behind Hunt Showdown. If you've ever played this game, you know that crossing the map takes a while, and player mobility feels pretty poor. The mobs aren't really a challenge at all, but they do impact your ability to cross the land. They still do have one design principle that's the exact same, though. When you're shot, most weapons are not going to deal lethal damage without a headshot. Arc Raiders has taken this one step further and excluded any weapons that feel truly effective at long range. What this means is that the map design of Arc can be, well, better. These maps are gorgeous, and they are designed around the behavior of the mobs very specifically. Open spaces make you vulnerable to mobs, enticing you to cross spaces by other means, entering trenches or bushes or going underground. But now you're up against the PvP. The PvP weapons that are most effective are going to be the ones that are designed for close-range combat. Remember what I said about being able to back off and heal from any instance of damage? Well, that doesn't work nearly as well if you're in range of enemy shotguns and grenades. Or if the enemy knows that they'll be able to secure a kill just by getting a little bit closer. The problem with running a weapon, like a shotgun, is that your other weapon slot probably won't be enough juju to fight every kind of PvE in the game. This game has no class system, but every weapon has a pretty significant drawback, and you can still equip different types of augments, which is this game's word for backpack. Some augments will give you passive health regen, others will increase the number of grenades you can carry, or perhaps just give you more backpack space. The ability to personalize your gear ties in perfectly with the way you can personalize your gameplay. Are you a rat who prefers to avoid direct confrontation with players? Then use silenced weapons and long-ranged weapons to keep bots under control or keep players at a distance. Do you prefer to rush to the good loot zones and defend it from the other players in glorious combat? Well, bring along traps, noise-making tripwires, barricades, military-grade door stops. Bring shotguns, which are terrible for killing the armored bots, but are fantastic at eliminating players. Even those that can see you coming.
They're coming.
Thanks to the third-person perspective.
They're up on the hill. Oh, they're close. Gotta reload.
Alright, I downed one.
The game encourages you to try new things by having some playstyles require materials of one kind, while another playstyle might require different kinds of materials. If you don't use those other materials, they'll just take up space in your stash. It's just so incredible how every little piece of the UI, even outside of the raid, contributes in a very positive way to the complex design of a game inside the PvPvE genre. Not a big fan of players who try to ambush you while you're fighting the bots? Bring along a lure grenade, and it'll draw the bots' attention to whatever you want. Hate the way enemy snipers are constantly draining your shields? Bring smoke grenades. Hate fighting the bigger, armored robots that won't leave you alone? Bring sticky bombs, or perhaps a weapon that specifically only damages bots. It may sound like the game is set up for unfair PvP encounters, with some people having, PvP gear and some people not. But you're forgetting the hardcore parkour. Unless you're unfamiliar with the map you're on, it's nearly impossible to get pinned or cornered. At least, I can't recall a single time that I've felt as though I had no choice but to fight back. On that note, I think it's time to talk about this concept of a group mode versus a solo mode. In other games, like Dark and Darker, it's really not obvious to me that a solo mode is making the game better. But for all the reasons I've already mentioned, the solo gameplay in Arc Raiders is just as fun and just as fair as the trio lobbies. In fact, the two modes almost feel like two different games. In solos, you'll see two things that you rarely see in the group mode. One is people crossing spaces out in the open, using stealth to avoid the bot's attention. Because, hey, an ambush in a close quarters environment is immediately lethal. You're not going to have any teammates to pick you up again. The second thing you'll see is friendly players, who either never wanted to fight you in the first place, or perhaps were convinced into non-violence.
Oh, hey there, buddy. How you doing?
Don't shoot!
Hey, don't shoot!
Don't get me wrong, I enjoy playing with friends, but there is no doubt in my mind that I get more satisfaction from playing the game in the solo mode. I imagine most people get their biggest emotional highs in solos from sneaking up on well-equipped raiders and bonking them over the noggin. But for me, the sweetest sap comes from sneaking up on people and then showing them that I could have killed them if I wanted to.
Hey, don't shoot! Hey, don't shoot!
It's my own personal Lyrebird brand of narcissism at work, and oh my god, is it so much fun. I just realized I haven't actually mentioned the sound design yet. The atmosphere of this game and any other is really important, and a lot of that is just the mechanics, like how frightening are the bots, or how much do you feel like you should stealth when you hear players. But a huge portion of the atmosphere is just how the sound works.
Hey, Raider! Come on, dance with me. Thanks, Raider. Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Let's go to that location. Let's head home at the water treatment elevator.
Yeah, I mean, I pull up. Well, I don't have any smart balance or something. I got guns. I got what this shit.
Yep. It was pretty dope. I left the gun. And then on top of all of that, there's still the music to talk about. Now, obviously all the music is good, and it all sort of fits in with itself thematically, like they did a good job with it. But there's one thing that really stands out that I've got to mention. During the last 5 minutes out of a 30-minute raid, you'll get special music. It's extra tense, and it gives these vibes of anxiety. And if it were the same music every time, you would become familiar with it, and it would lose that anxious edge.
Hey, don't shoot.
But it seems to be that there's at least 3 or 4 different tracks for that end-of-raid music. And the little details like that, that's such a small thing. And another game dev might have specifically gone out of their way to keep it the same every time. But these guys, they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. And it shows in every aspect of this wonderful game. Another critical aspect of sound design is voice acting, and you wouldn't consider that to be critical for an extraction shooter, but every little bit contributes to the atmosphere, and the atmosphere changes the social dynamic of the game.
Hey, bro. Hello. Mr.
up,
Preach. Word. I'm not going to do violence.
That's good.
To you.
I approve.
Sick.
Hey there, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, bud. Trying to get the hell out. I'm all fucked up.
Oh, you got the suit! He's got the suit!
You didn't buy the deluxe edition? You can get this with the deluxe. You can buy. You got 24 hours.
Yeah, I was thinking about upgrading, yeah, because I like this game. I'm willing to give it more money. It's dope.
Yeah,
you
it's
look
really
like
good.
you look like a sand person from Tatooine.
Right? Yeah, it's good for this map, right?
Hey, have a bicycle pump.
Fucking take it.
You look like your suit needs one.
Right.
Every single quest in the game, so far as I can tell, has 3 different lines of dialogue associated with it. One is going to be the dialogue you get when you accept the quest. Another is going to be the dialogue you get when you complete the quest. But there's a third bit of dialogue that is really important because it comes in when you go into raid with the quest. It sort of reminds you that you have the quest, and it also provides this narrative continuity. You really bring a lot of life to these NPCs by having them talk to you throughout every stage of the process of interacting with them, which looks like quests.
Hey, Shawnee here. Got your gun ready, Raider. Do keep your wits about you when you take on Ark. Too Let's go to the pattern house to attract unwanted attention. And don't forget to grab the alloy from the machines you bring down.
This little detail may seem trivial, but it's really important. These details, these quality of life features, keep people properly immersed and feeling as though they are a raider. By doing this, you change the social strata to a slightly more benevolent one. It doesn't necessarily shame or punish people who enjoy PvP combat, but it does give you this sort of in-character feeling that perhaps you shouldn't just be blatantly violent towards every other raider that you see. You gotta use the carrot and not the stick, and they managed to do that. There is no punishment for engaging in PvP. There's no, karma system for being a bad raider. I remember the public launch for the playtest of Ashes of Creation. I remember notorious streamer Asmongold, whatever you may think of him, was basically advertising the game by streaming it, which is a huge part of what streamers do. And he was getting bullied kind of relentlessly, which you would expect, but you would also expect there to be systems in place like a safe zone where you spawn in order to prevent this kind of trolling. The problem was that the developers just didn't properly anticipate what would happen, and so the solution that they applied in the moment to prevent the launch from being a failure was to punish the PvP-oriented players. And that's a band-aid. Oh yeah, did I mention that the game has cinematics too? Every time you unlock a new map, you get a new cinematic. Every time you complete a quest, there's about a 10% chance that you're gonna get a cinematic.
After all these years, I never thought I'd see the day the crews opened up the northern tunnels. The gate is uncharted territory, so only those with a few scars on them are being let through. You never know what might be lurking out there. Good luck. You may just need it. We thought topside was ours again. And we could start rebuilding. Fools. All of us. Ark was back within years. Reinforced. Relentless. But there are lessons to be learned. If you're willing.
During the first wave, the Barons did more damage than all the other machines combined. Now they're mere husks, fixed in place where they once fell. Still, their internals might hold the answer to keeping Ark at bay, so open one up and bring me whatever is inside. Great. There's a Baron husk near the spaceport walls, and one in the swamp by the dam.
They must have lined up, crammed in, and left without looking back. But you know what? I've been thinking, maybe they didn't make it. Maybe they burned out in the void. Got a one-way ticket to nowhere. And here we are. Still standing, still scraping by. Maybe we're the lucky ones after all.
Okay, you get it. Generating and cultivating the correct social atmosphere for a game like this was the important part of their job, and they did it right. All of that, all of the stuff I just talked about, all of it is aimed towards the goal of making people not always hostile. You want player versus player in the game. You want it to be there. What you don't want is for every player-on-player encounter to be the same and to have the same motivations. You want a diversity of interaction. Sometimes they're friendly, sometimes they're deceitful, sometimes they're openly hostile. Sometimes you don't even see them because they're sneaking past you. If you have the same interaction every time, then it defeats the point of involving multiplayer, which was to create a diversity of experience. Okay, I just wanted to get all that off my chest. My initial reaction when I judged the game before playing it was that this game would be clumsily made, and I couldn't have been more wrong. It was put together with such thoughtfulness and intent that I can't stop playing. Thanks for watching if you're still around, and I'll see you in Speranza. I wonder if Celeste likes flowers.